The dreaming. Many mentions. Temporary overflow. Be careful, you guard-headed nitwit. Watch where you're going. It's been like this for hours. Hours that feel like long and brittle days. He tried to help, at first, tried to do his job and makes the best of a bad situation. A bad situation at best. You can't handle them like common day dreams, you know? Criminy? No, he just wants them to leave. One more hurricane, and you're gonna be lugging these mysteries around for yourself, you pompous fireback. What's that supposed to mean? I'll tell you exactly what it means, you four-eyed, snipe-faced lunatic. Hey, what the? It ain't like half the palace ain't saying the same damn thing. Like it's some kind of big secret how that fire got started in the first place. How dare you even apply that I said I would? You can't be serious. As a heart attack. You might want to have a hard think about coming back down there before those two wreck the place.
I honestly don't know how much more of this I can endure, Matthew.
I still don't know why you ever agreed to it.
What else was I supposed to do?
Well, saying no sure comes to mind. Or how about not a snowball's chance in hell? Or even, hey.
I'm sorry, Matthew. I think I need some time alone.
Whatever you say. You're the boss.
You're the boss. And he knows well enough what the raven meant, only that this is his library, his responsibility. But the librarian also knows how he feels. That more is being asked of him these days, much more than his duties described in his letter of commission. Charles Ludwig Dodgson. Else. 5 millennia he's invested in the exacting science of order, the meticulous cataloguing and maintenance of unrealized visions. Poems never put to paper, stories never told, books never bound, photographs never taken. Tasks he's always performed with pride and satisfaction, duties he has never shirked, even during his lord's captivity, when so many others abandoned their posts to chase their own desires. Duties that have never left him, with this emptiness inside, like drowning slowly in cold deep water.
I demand an apology, you impudent refugee from a vegetable garden. This very moment. Since been. Right now, you overripe lummox. Apologize. I will not be spoken to that way by a janitor. Hey, bud, either you put that thing away or you better get ready to use it. Is there a threat? Are you actually threatening me? Yeah, Kane, that's what it is. I ain't exactly forget about you knocking my head off. And after moving your dusty old junk around for 2 goddamn days, I'd rather take my chances with the wrath of God than have to hear any more of your lip. Is it so? Well, it can always be arranged, Mr. Pumpkinhead. Hey, watch it. Oh, Lucian's gonna have my balls on a silver platter. Now just look what you've done. Oh, shit.
What in the name of... No. Oh, no.
I hate to say I told you so, but... Beep. I told you so. And you know what else? Ah!
Get them out of here, Matthew. All of them this moment. Also, help me. I will not be held responsible for my actions.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, you're the boss.
No, Matthew. I'm the librarian. I'm not the boss. I'm just a bloody librarian.
Yeah, jeez. Whatever. You don't have to strangle me.
Then exactly who do I have to strangle, Matthew?
Maybe you ought to calm down a little. I mean, yeah, shit, Lucien. They made a mess, but...
But what? But that's acceptable because that's what I'm here for? To have everyone in the realm constantly dumping their problems in my lap?
No, of course not, but...
But what? Because that's all what you're all doing?
Hey, well, have the mess cleaned up in a jiffy, Luce. No problemo.
I certainly hope you're not thinking any of this was my... I don't care whose fault it was, Cain. I want you both out of here, now, and take the goggles with you.
If this oaf of a handyman hadn't been more interested in insulting me than doing his job... Yeah, sure, that's right. Blame the oppressed and downtrodden Protestant workers. You mean proletariat, you mothering nitwit. Whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Are you both deaf? I said, leave, go away, get out of my sight. I'll clean up this disaster on my own, or it can stay this way forever. Either way, I want both of you to leave.
Good grief, I can take a hint. Come on, Gregory. I don't even care anymore. Will let him worry about what to do with them if that's the way he wants it. But I can't just leave it that way. I got an obligation, you know, duties. Out! If you're really sure?
I'm very sure.
Sheesh, I'm gone already. You don't gotta go getting pushy.
Not one of you has heard a single word that I've said. Pushy is what I should have gotten a long time ago.
You clowns almost got me choked to death back there.
Can it, bird?
But, come on, Luce. I'm sorry, okay?
Goodbye, Mervyn.
But, holy for Jolies, Matty. What you figure crawled up his butt and died? Everyone's got a breaking point, Merv. I think you just found Lucien's. Well, it grabs my middle kidney again the bums rush like that when I'm just trying to do my job. And having to take orders from that arrogant firebug to boot. You ain't even got a kidney, Mervyn. You know what I mean.
Goodbye. And good riddance. Now what? The librarian thinks. What a terrible, terrible mess. And the vague guilt has already begun to gnaw at him, ashamed of losing control. But these are all expected reactions, the things he expects of himself. It's what he doesn't feel that worries him most. That his concern is only for the simple inconvenience, the time it will take him to undo the damage that's been done, and the strain on his nerves. It's one thing to be annoyed that his job has been made more difficult by the intrusions of others. It's another that he doesn't feel the old, familiar anxiety that the library has been harmed, that his charge has been violated. As if it has become no more to him than a mere job, an obligation, in the words of the janitor. Another thing entirely. Oh. Damn. The urgency he should feel to put things right, to draw order from this chaos, eludes him, and he feels nothing now but tired. Defeated by that futility which comes to those who make the mistake of stopping long enough to see the big picture. The librarian has not felt such genuine futility in decades, the sense that any move, any action will be a mistake, that everything is out of reach. Deceiving mists that always lead you back where you began, and the crumble dry smell of dead flowers and cracked and dusty vases. A fear of reflection, of all imaginable mirrors. Despair. The librarian wishes for sleep and poppies, aspirin and the forgetfulness of morphine. You've only had a bad day, he tells himself, but the voice behind his eyes doesn't sound very sincere or very convincing. A year ago, or more, the snowy eve of the year since he met Nuala in a Manhattan bar. Moments like this, he tries to remember the light around her and the life. Moments like this, he tries not to remember his disappointment, her choice to remain in the waking world, passing for human, instead of returning with him to the palace and her old life. Foolish half-belief that he was there to rescue her from a tragic exile and then to find her satisfied. He tries hard not to envy her that satisfaction. He tries harder not to envy her that choice. But she was never a true thing of the dreaming, only a bright refugee from her own flittering world, someone abandoned here and given sanctuary, someone passing through.
Good evening, Mouse. As well as can be expected, I suppose. And yours? Indeed.
To tell the truth, he cannot envy her anything. He can only miss her.
Oh, just a small accident, that's all. There's no one to blame but myself, I'm afraid. I gave Kane permission to store some of the mysteries he salvaged from the fire in the library. Yes, I certainly should have known better, shouldn't I have? Well, that's easy for you to say now, isn't it? I honestly don't know what's to become of Kane now. I mean, the situation is rather unprecedented. Well, that's not a very nice thing to say, even about Kane.
Not very nice at all, really, he adds, and then he's already nodding off, a dream's dream waiting for him, and he tries to recall who the mouse was talking about. Or why a mouse should have such a low opinion of them. And then he realizes that he's flying. Flying again, so he knows that it's a dream. Swimming in the sky above Nightmare. And then he isn't anymore, is instead a raven, again, and there's a woman talking. Eve is talking, and her voice is sad and almost older than the world. Are you sure, Lucien? I will miss you, she says, and her voice is like age-yellowed parchment, crumbled in careless hands. All the sand in the world, all the scorching winds of all the deserts.
What happens now?
I don't know, Lucien. It's something that has never happened before.
Am I dying?
You died a long time ago. I don't think you have to do it again. But you can pass on to her, if that's what you want. She's never far from us, from any of us.
I'm not ready for her yet.
And he hears a gentle sound of water flowing and his daughter calling his name from the rushes along the river bank. He knows that he cannot go back to her, that life before feathers and the sweet taste of carrion. The wind is a tempest in his head.
I would miss the sky.
And would you miss me, Lucien? I would miss you more than the sky, he says, and he wishes he couldn't hear her crying, that the wind was that loud. And something passes across the sun then, terrible like clips of rustling silk and eyes that could pierce the soul of a stone. There is another place for you, Raven, his Lord Shaper says, if you would have it. Don't look, Lucien. Close your eyes. But he can't. If he were blind, he would still see, and the dream is changing anyway, melting away. Slipping between his fingers like sand the way dreams will, but he's still flying.
You know me, old man. Don't pretend you don't. The lady, is she here?
Drifting above fog-shifting shadows and dark, dank, filthy streets.
Does this help your memory?
Above moments he might have lived that might be memories.
Oh yes, the lady, she said you would ask for her.
You will follow me, please. Or might be nothing more than memories of other dreams. The acrid poppy reek, sweat and candle wax, and the sound the old man's slippers make on the floor. He is here, miss, the gentleman. Or it's only something he read, the dreams of someone dead and forgotten, except for pages in his library.
Christina!
Dreams he's stolen because his own have grown stale. I knew that you would come. The taste of her, the smell of her, her skin soft as the sound of the night slipping invisibly over the seams. And don't leave me, she says. He knows that any answer would be a lie, so he says nothing, and she cannot hear him crying. Will never hear him crying for the sound of her own helpless sobs.
I knew you would not leave me, my love. I knew.
It's all right, Christina, he whispers into the smoky dark tangle of her hair as black as the wings of ravens. Even though he remembers that it's not all right, that bad things will happen very soon. But the book on the table isn't one from his library, one from hers, one that she gave him. Gaze no more in the bitter glass. Gaze no more. Wake yourself, he thinks, or screams, or tries to whisper, but his dream, like all others, has its own will and its own ends.
I won't look. I won't see.
Our Lord sends his apologies, said he could not be here himself, but you will find everything in order. You may begin work whenever you are ready, librarian.
Lucien, are you sure you want this?
It's not too late to change your mind.
But he knows better, knows that his wings have already been passed along to another. His place at her side treated with a few words and the alchemy of decision. I will never leave you, he tells her, and the lie as easy on his lips as falling from a clear blue sky. He has already gone. Gaze no more. It's not too late to change, if he was ever even there. If he was ever any place but here. I've almost finished with the autobiography shelves. Abedel-Qaeda through Robespierre. I can finish tomorrow, that is, if you wish.
That would be fine, Nuala. Thank you very much.
A dust bunny bit me. It was a very large dust bunny.
You should have someone look at that, Nuala. They're not very clean things, dust bunnies.
But at least here he is certain that the dream is not a figment. This he does remember, and he remembers too the way she loved him, the way she scrubbed and polished and dusted every cranny nook of his palace, and him as perfectly oblivious as ever. Lucien remembers everything he should have said to her, every word that died, still born on his tongue, the love she wasted on their indifferent lord, and the guilt and jealousy he hid for years. But there was loyalty and propriety, order to consider. There were always things to consider. You coward, he thinks, as he thought 1,000 times. You damnable coward. And then he is waking. And for a moment he can still hear her voice, still smell cleaning fluid and smoldering black tar opium. But only for a moment. And then he is alone again, with a razor-thin regret of hopes grown dead and cold. He has always despised the sound of his own tears.
Damn you, Cain. You and your precious baubles and fetishes. I will have no more of either.
The poem comes back to him then, like a scalding whiff of ammonia, the line he must have repeated to her 1,000 times. That summer, 100 years ago. Gaze no more at the bitter glass, the demons with their subtle ghoul. Gaze no more.
You should all have burned. Oh.
But there's nothing more than that for him to say, not even here, in the stingy bit of privacy. No words to give sense to the weight of centuries, so much time on his shoulders, time like sand, like sifting dream recollections. So little weight to any single grain, but so easy to be crushed beneath the shifting dunes.
Pull yourself together, man. It was a dream. It was only a dream.
He knows better, of course, knows it's a deception in that particular sentiment, but for the moment it's all he has.
Who's there? Why, Goldie, this is a surprise. No, I'm perfectly fine. Well, thank you, but there's nothing wrong, really. Please come in. I thought that you had left with all the others when... No, actually, I rather doubt that I'll be getting any more sleep tonight. Hello? I haven't seen this one in a while. No, it's not simply going to take care of itself, is it, Goldie?
And besides, he thinks, what else is there for him, really? Just a ruin of tumbled shelves and scattered pages downstairs, waiting for him to set it all right again. That and this room. And it's easy to choose a lesser evil.
No, just a bad dream, that's all.
But there seems to be a lot of that going around these days. Dreams having dreams, ill and portentous dreams. The Corinthian, and then Matthew.
Mervyn?
How's it going, Luce?
How'd you get in here, Mervyn? I locked the library doors myself.
Yeah, but I still have a key. You know, back when you left me in charge for a while, I had a copy made just in case.
Oh, I see. I told you I'd see to this.
I know, Luce, but hell, you know, it's my job. I couldn't even sleep knowing I hadn't taken care of it yet. Course I ain't complaining, but this is really Kane's mess, you know. I say you ought to have to help clean it up.
I expect Kane has enough to worry about just now.
Yeah, and I know he's probably crazy as a fruit bat in a banana patch, but what do you think would make a fella burn down his own house?
You should show the firstborn a little more respect, Mervyn, and you shouldn't believe everything you hear.
But the fashion thing said that the one true dominatrix heard.
You could at least consider the reliability of your sources.
Yeah, well, I guess.
I know that Kane is, well, difficult, but I've also known him long enough to know that he cares as much for the safety of his mysteries as I care for the safety of these books.
The Travels of Odysseus, Alfred Lord Tennyson.
You do him a disservice, Mervyn, spreading gossip and hearsay.
Yeah, well, he didn't exactly do me any favors knocking off my hat when I was trying to put out the fire.
These are strange days, Mervyn, even for Lord Shaper's realm.
I don't think any of us can afford to hold...
I don't think any of us can afford to hold grudges.
Whatever you say, Luce. Whatever you say.